To South Asia now. Sri Lanka has been fighting one of its worst natural disasters in years. It's been hit by a cyclone, Cyclone Ditwah. Floods have swallowed entire neighborhoods. Landslides have swept through villages. More than 400 people have been killed. Hundreds are still stranded on rooftops. The island nation needs help, and it needs help desperately. At a time like this, you would depend on your neighborhood, on nations to come together with relief and aid. And they did come through. India, as always, was the first responder. India sent aid and rescue teams to Sri Lanka. Nepal has announced $200,000 in aid. Bangladesh is sending relief. And then we have Pakistan. Pakistan, too, shipped aid to Sri Lanka. The High Commission clicked photos of what they were giving, and it posted these photos online with hearts and flags. The caption said, "Always standing together." But then came the plot twist. The pictures uploaded by the Pakistani High Commission showed bags of aid. The internet zoomed in, and here's what they found. Written on one bag, EXP 2024. EXP stands for expiry. 2024 was last year, which means the bag of aid expired last year. So did Pakistan send an expired bag of aid to Sri Lanka? That's the question the internet is asking. And I wouldn't blame Pakistan much here. With their battered economy and an army general consolidating power, they may not even realize what year it is. Maybe they thought it's the early 2000s. But it did not escape the internet's wrath. And then came the fun part. Islamabad said nothing about this. Sri Lanka did not comment either. But here's what the Pakistani High Commission did. They deleted the post. The post that drew so much scrutiny, the post that made headlines, instead of issuing a clarification, they just deleted it. And then to deflect criticism, they trained their guns on India. They said India was blocking their aid flight. It's a classic Uno reverse. When fingers are pointed at Pakistan, they invariably turn to India. According to Pakistan's Foreign Office, India had been, quote-unquote, delaying permission. Permission for what? For its aid flight to pass through Indian airspace. And they say this delay is hampering Pakistan's relief mission. This is Islamabad's POV. Of course, India had none of it. The Ministry of External Affairs exposed them again. They publicly laid out the facts, or like Gen Z would say it, they dropped the receipts. Pakistan requested an overflight at 1 p.m. India granted clearance at 5:30 p.m. The entire process took less than 5 hours, which is unusually fast for diplomatic aviation. New Delhi called Pakistani media claims baseless, misleading, and fake. And while Islamabad was busy blaming India, India was busy helping Sri Lanka. New Delhi launched Operation Sagar Bandhu. It moved 53 tons of relief supplies to Sri Lanka. INS Vikrant sent helicopters for rescue. INS Sukanya reached Trincomalee with tons of relief. Chetak and Mi-17 helicopters rescued stranded civilians. NDRF teams were deployed for search and rescue. That's the National Disaster Relief Force, NDRF. Indians, Sri Lankans, Germans, Slovenians, South Africans, everyone was rescued. India was in action mode, not accusation mode, which made Islamabad's complaint even more awkward. So did Pakistan really send expired aid? Well, here's the only honest answer. It looks like it. The photo says yes. Maybe it was mislabeled. Maybe it applied only to one item. Maybe someone did not check the boxes. Or maybe it was exactly what it looked like. And that's what makes this entire episode so damning. Because the aid was not the story. The deletion was the story. The deflection was the story. The blaming India part was the story. Pakistan truly showed us that even in the middle of a natural disaster, they can create a man-made one.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.